Code Red in Kai Town. Did you know there's a silent assassin in our trenches rewriting franchise history? Hold up, our defensive coordinator just dropped a 6-word bomb about the field general. That's gonna shake the entire NFC North. But buried in the injury report is a threat that could blow it all up against Minnesota. Do we have the depth to survive without the key starters? This ain't just another Sunday, it's the ultimate test of whether we're legit contenders. Stick around till the end if you want the raw, unfiltered truth nobody else is giving you. Look, I've been watching this team for years trying to piece together a decent offensive line. Ever since Olin Kreutz left, since the Jay Cutler days when he was getting crushed every Sunday. We've seen a revolving door of guys who couldn't protect their own grandma crossing the street. But now something different is happening in Chicago. And if you're not paying attention to Joe Thuney, you're making a massive mistake. Let me tell you something about this dude. Joe Thuney came to Chicago in a trade with Kansas City, and it only cost us a 4th-round pick. A 4th-rounder, folks. Ryan Poles straight up robbed the Chiefs in broad daylight. And you know what's wild? Nobody's talking about him, and that's exactly what we want. Declan Doyle, our offensive coordinator, said something this week that blew my mind. He quoted Eric Bieniemy, who worked with Thuney in KC, and said this: "He'll bore you to death with how consistent he is in the details. You won't even notice him." Hold up, let me run that back because it's huge. You won't even notice him. You know why that's brilliant? Because on the O-line, if you don't hear a guy's name, it means he's doing his job perfectly. No flags, no sacks allowed, no drama. Just straight up execution, play after play. Now here come the numbers that'll leave you speechless. Heading into Week 11, Joe Thuney is one of only 5 guards in the entire NFL who've played over 150 pass blocking snaps and haven't allowed a single sack. 0. Nada. Zilch. And his 7 pressures allowed. Tied for the fewest in that group. But here's the part that's got me absolutely hyped. 4 of those 7 pressures came in his very first game with the team against Minnesota. First game, new system, new teammates. Since then, this man's been a damn brick wall. Let me ask you this and think hard before you answer. When was the last time we saw a left guard in Chicago play at this level? I'll tell you right now, never in the modern era of this team have we had this kind of consistency at that spot. Kyle Long had flashes of greatness, but injuries wrecked him. Before that, it was a straight-up carousel of dudes, and it's not just Thuney. Look at the whole O-line. Teven Jenkins on the other side at guard, Coleman Shelton at center, Darnell Wright making a huge leap at right tackle. This is the best offensive line Chicago's had since the Olin Kreutz and Roberto Garza days. And I'm not exaggerating one bit. You know what that means for Caleb Williams. It means our rookie quarterback has time to read defenses, time to find DJ Moore, time to hit Roma Duns, time to make those magic plays we've been seeing. And for Dander Swift and our run game, it means we've got one of the best rushing attacks in the league, because these dudes are dominating the line of scrimmage. Doyle also talked about Thuney's leadership behind the scenes, stuff fans don't see. The guy's a Super Bowl champ, been in the playoffs year after year, knows what it takes to win in this league, and he's passing that winning mindset onto this young O-line. Think about this. Thuney played with Tom Brady in New England, won a Super Bowl, then went to Kansas City, played with Patrick Mahomes, won another Super Bowl. This guy's been in the trenches with the 2 best quarterbacks of this generation, and now he's here in Chicago, helping mold Caleb Williams and protecting the future of this franchise. Let me ask you, isn't this exactly what this organization needed? No more projects, no more potential, no more excuses. Just a straight-up pro doing his job at the highest level, setting the standard for everyone else. I believe Joe Thuney's gonna finish this season as an All-Pro. And when January rolls round and the picks come out, his name's gonna be there. And you know what's gonna happen. Half the people are gonna say, "Who's Joe Thuney?" Because that's how it is with offensive linemen, folks. The best ones are invisible until you watch the tape, see the stats, and realize your quarterback's not getting touched. Ryan Poles deserves a massive shout out for this move. A 4th-round pick for a player of this caliber is highway robbery. While other teams are burning 1st and 2nd-rounders on O-line projects, Poles went out and got a proven guy, a winner. A pro. And here's the best part. Thuney's 31, but guards can play until 35, 36 easy. We've got this guy in his prime, protecting our quarterback of the future, setting the right culture in the O-line room. This isn't just about this season, it's about building something sustainable. Tell me in the comments, are you finally convinced Ryan Poles knows what he's doing? Because moves like this bringing in Joe Thuney don't happen by accident. This is smart roster building. This is putting your rookie QB in a position to succeed. If that blew your mind, wait till you hear this, because what Dennis Allen said about Caleb Williams this week has me fired up. Look, I've been covering this team for years. I've heard defensive coordinators talk about their quarterbacks. But what Allen said on Thursday, it hit different. It was real. It was the kind of validation we all needed to hear about our quarterback of the future. Allen was talking about prepping for Minnesota, how to slow down Justin Jefferson, the defensive adjustments they need to make. But when someone asked about Caleb Williams, his answer was perfect. He started by talking about the huge growth Williams has shown since training camp. And that matters because Allen's been here from the jump. He's seen every practice, every film session, every development moment. He's not speaking from the outside, he's speaking from inside Hollis Hall. But here's the part that got me, when Allen described how Williams uses his athleticism, his ability to throw on the move, his knack for extending plays. He said 6 words that say it all. I'm glad he's on our side. Let me repeat that because it's monumental. I'm glad he's on our side. You know what that means. It means our defensive coordinator, a guy who's faced Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, all the greats, watches Caleb Williams in practice every day and thinks, thank God I don't have to face this guy on Sundays. Let me ask you, when was the last time you heard a Bears defensive coordinator talk like that about our quarterback? With Mitch Trubisky? With Justin Fields? With any of the disasters we've had under center? I'll tell you, never. We've never had this. We've never had a quarterback who makes our own DC say, wow, this dude is special. And here's what's got me completely hyped. Williams is only in his 2nd season. This is his 1st year with Ben Johnson. This is literally the worst Caleb Williams is ever gonna be. And he's already playing at a Pro Bowl level. Let that sink in. A 2nd-year quarterback. 1st year in a new system, mostly new O-line. Playing so well that NFL vets are saying they're glad they don't have to go against him. Allen specifically mentioned Williams' ability to throw on the move. And we've seen it, right? Those ridiculous throws while rolling right, those touchdowns while getting chased down. That's not luck, that's elite skill. You know who else can do that? Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers in his prime. Josh Allen, that's the tier we're talking about. And Caleb Williams, at 23, is already flashing that kind of talent. But here's what really makes me believe. Williams is getting better every week. He's not plateauing. He's not stuck. Every game we see something new, more confidence, better decisions. Look at the 4th quarter numbers this season. The Bears have been clutch under pressure, and that's because Williams doesn't flinch in big moments. The guy's got ice in his veins. Let me ask you, isn't this what we've always dreamed of? A quarterback who's not just physically gifted, but mentally sharp, confident. With added factor that separates the good from the great. I think we're witnessing the birth of a superstar, not just a good QB, not just a solid guy. A superstar, someone who's gonna be an MVP talks. Who's gonna take this team to the playoffs again and again? Who's gonna bring a championship back to Chicago? And you know what's scary for the rest of the league? Williams is just getting started. He's still learning Johnson's system, still building chemistry with his receivers, still growing as a leader. Dennis Allen sees it every day in practice. He sees the plays Williams makes against the first-team defense. And when he says, I'm glad he's on our side, that's not just a throwaway line. That's respect from one pro to another. And here's what really excites me. Ben Johnson still has plays in the vault. There are concepts we haven't even seen yet. There are ways to use Williams that are gonna catch defenses off guard. Imagine this quarterback with another year under his belt. Another offseason with Johnson. More chemistry with his weapons. Imagine when they add more firepower in the draft. Imagine when Williams is 25, 26, and in his absolute prime. I'm telling you, the rest of the NFC North should be shaking. The Packers with Jordan Love. The Vikings with Sam Darnold. The Lions with Jared Goff. Every one of those teams should be looking at Caleb Williams and thinking, we're gonna have to deal with this guy for the next 15 years. Because that's what we've got here, folks. Not a bridge QB, not a project, not a hope. We've got a guy who's already making our own DC say he's glad he doesn't have to face him. And you know what? I'm glad to. I'm glad that finally after decades of mediocrity at quarterback, we've got someone special. Someone who can go toe-to-toe with the best. Someone who can take this team where it needs to go. The future of this franchise is brighter than the sun, and it all starts with number 1 under center. Now here's where things get really wild, and this is something you need to understand, because it could define our game against Minnesota on Sunday. The injury report dropped Thursday, and there's some stuff in there that's got me both fired up and a little on edge. Let me break it down, because the details matter, and every single one of these names could be the difference between a win and a loss against the Vikings. First, the good news: DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, our top 2 wideouts, were back on the field Thursday, both listed as limited participants. Moore's dealing with a shoulder, Odunze with an ankle. And here's the key: neither of these guys has missed a game all season. They've popped up on injury reports before, but come Sunday, they're out there, making plays, helping this team win. That's what pros do, folks. They play through pain, take care of their bodies during the week, and when the lights come on, they're ready for war. But here's the part that's got me a little uneasy: Joe Thuney didn't practice Thursday. Now, before you freak out, he's listed as rest, not an injury. Just load management. Remember, Thuney's 31, has played every offensive snap this season, and Ben Johnson's being smart about keeping him fresh for the stretch run. This is what well-run teams do. Let me ask you, would you rather Thuney rest a day in November or get hurt in December, when we really need him? I think the answer's obvious. But here's where it gets tricky. Jaquan Brisker didn't practice Thursday because of his back. TJ Edwards also sat out with a hand and hamstring issue. These are TWO of our most important defensive players. Brisker's our strong safety, the guy who's got to deal with Minnesota's tight ends, the guy who's got to be in the box helping stop the run. Edwards is our leading tackler, the quarterback of our defense, and guess who we're playing? The Minnesota Vikings, a team that beat us 27-24 in Week 1, a team with Justin Jefferson, one of the best receivers in the league. You know what it means to face Jefferson without your strong safety at full strength. It means you're in trouble, big trouble. But here's the silver lining: Tyrique Stevenson, who missed Wednesday's practice with a shoulder, was a full participant Thursday. That's huge because we need every corner. We've got to deal with Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Josh Blackwell's in the concussion protocol but was a full participant. Ruben Hippolyte with the knee, full go. Cole Kmet with the back, full go. Dominique Robinson with the ankle, full go. Dander Swift with the hip, full go. See the pattern here? We've got guys dealing with stuff, but they're finding ways to be ready. That's culture. That's a winning mindset. That's what Ben Johnson has brought to this team. Let me ask you, how many times in past years did we see Bears players sit out with minor stuff? How many times did we see a lack of toughness, a lack of commitment? I'll tell you this, those days are over. This team's got a different mindset, a different culture, a different standard. But let's not kid ourselves, the Brisker and Edwards situation is concerning. If neither of them can go Sunday, Dennis Allen's gonna have to make some major adjustments to the defensive game plan. Maybe that means more zone coverage to protect the backup safeties. Maybe it means dialing up more pressure on Kirk Cousins to throw off his rhythm. Maybe it means trusting our corners in more man-to-man situations. But here's what I know: Allen is one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. He's faced worse situations than this and found ways to win. I trust he'll have a plan. I trust he'll put our guys in position to succeed. And here's the other thing: Minnesota's got injuries too. Every team in the NFL is dealing with something at this point in the season. The difference is who adapts better, who's deeper, who's better coached. I think we've got the edge in all those areas. Yeah, losing Brisker and Edwards would hurt, but we've got guys behind them who've been prepping all season. And for this moment. And don't forget the most important thing: we've got Caleb Williams. We've got DJ Moore. We've got Rome Odunze. We've got Dander Swift. We've got an offense that can put up points on ANY defense in the league. If this turns into a shootout, if we've got to win 35-31 instead of 2017, I'm totally good with that, because I trust this offense more than I've trusted any Bears offense in years. That Week 1 game against Minnesota was tight, 27-24. We lost by a field goal, and that was with Caleb Williams in his first NFL game. With this O-line playing together for the first time, with this whole system still brand new. Now we've got 10 games of experience. Now we've won 6 of our last 7. Now we've got confidence, momentum, and a real identity. Let me ask you, how much has this team improved since Week 1? The answer is a ton, and we're gonna get the chance to prove it Sunday in Minnesota. Tell me in the comments, are you confident we can beat the Vikings? Even if Brisker and Edwards don't suit up? Because I'm fully confident. Now let me ask you something straight up. After hearing all this, Joe Thuney transforming our offensive line. Dennis Allen validating Caleb Williams as a legit elite quarterback. This team showing real toughness despite injuries. Do you still have doubts about where this franchise is headed? Because I'm telling you right now, if you're not fully convinced the Chicago Bears are building something special, then you haven't been paying attention. I want to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 3 stories has you the most fired up? Is it Thuney's dominant play protecting our QB of the future? Is it Dennis Allen's words confirming Caleb Williams is the real deal? Or is it seeing this team show the winning mentality we need to compete in January? And one more thing, do you agree that Ryan Poles deserves Executive of the Year for the Thuney move? Because getting an All-Pro for a 4th-round pick is straight-up highway robbery. For those of you who've been with us from the beginning, who suffered through the dark years, who never gave up on the Navy and Orange, this is our moment. This is the team we've been waiting for. And if you're new to this channel, if you just found this community, let me tell you something. This is more than just Bears news. This is family. We're fans who bleed Navy and Orange, who live and die with every snap, who never ever stop believing in this team. So if you want to be part of something special, if you want the deepest, most passionate Chicago Bears analysis on all of YouTube, subscribe right now. Smash that subscribe button like it's a Khalil Mack sack, and that like button, hit it like it's Aaron Rodgers getting dropped by our defense. Because every like, every sub, every comment helps us grow this community and spread the Bears gospel to fans all over the world. We'll be here every day bringing you the latest news, the deepest breakdowns, the realest takes on everything Chicago Bears. Because you deserve quality content, you deserve the truth, and you deserve a community that shares your passion. Bear down, family. We'll see you in the next video with more explosive Bears news. And remember, the future is bright, the future is now, and the future is Navy and Orange. And the future is Navy and Orange.